If you have questions for these researchers, please pop them in. And while you're doing that, I'd like to ask Jasnick, just how important are guidelines?
Thanks for that question, Diane. Look, I think for clinicians who are working in this space, it's quite important for us to have some way of just ensuring that children are getting equitable access to specialist advice. And I think one of the difficulties is that paediatric sleep is, a very specialised area. And whilst we may have the expertise in tertiary centres, there's a lot of sleep that actually doesn't get to us, sleep issues that go to other clinicians. So I know that in our centre, certainly, neurology, rehab, developmental physicians will see a huge amount of paediatric sleep disturbance that comes to them through other conditions that people are seeing them for. And I think the aim of the guidelines is not only to support the specialists, but also to be able to provide some guidance that others can refer to as well, so that they know what things they should consider referring to the specialists for. So I think it's quite important for us to have something nationally that we can use to help guide clinicians, and hopefully in time also for primary care, and try and sort of ensure that children can access that advice through more than just a tertiary level.
Fantastic. Jasnick, what centres are you recruiting from?
So for the survey, we are recruiting nationally. So we are recruiting from anywhere across the country. So even if you're not at one of the sites that are leading this research, you still can participate in this research. So anywhere and everywhere. Fantastic.
Alicia, can I ask you about your Presto trial results? So I'm really interested by the community element to your project, and I imagine there are families out there who are wondering whether they can get hold of a personalised exercise plan from your project. But I'll ask the more general question. What are the plans for rolling the findings out at a community level?
Thanks, Diane. Yes, we do have a knowledge translation plan. Our 12-month assessments are just being finalised, so we don't quite have results, but certainly there's a multi-stage plan, including the main publication findings, but also to ensure that we translate those findings back into something that could be practically used for members of the community. And that's part of my job at the moment. So we've also, as part of the trial, interviewed participants, families, and the exercise professionals that are involved to get a lot of feedback about what's worked and hasn't worked so well. And we'll use that to sort of guide what the suggested program, and I guess like Jasnick was saying too, to have sort of guidelines to be able to say this works for people with Prader-Willi and it works in community gyms close to your home. So yeah.
Fantastic. I think your group's done some work around, is it fit skills with Down syndrome? So you've got some experience in this space in terms of translating what you find out to the community. Would that be accurate?
Yes, that's absolutely right. So yeah, Down Syndrome Victoria is doing some continuation of the Fit Skills program that was started years ago by Professor Norris Shields as well through La Trobe Uni.
Yeah, fantastic. Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.
Claudine, with your work on gait, I'm going to jump around a little bit for you because I'm so fascinated by the space of wearables. So Claudine, we've had really long conversations. Can I give you like a 30-second window? What's really exciting about wearables? What excites you? So the wearables you're putting on to measure gait are amazing. So, but wearable technology in general, what kind of opportunities are we going to see for that?
So with wearables, you're paving the way to objective data that can get information about the phenotype that is so much more nuanced and real than what you're getting with, say, a survey or some other sort of phenotype measure. But the most exciting thing, and I think we're going to see wearables, really fall into medical care more and more, is just that ability for the real world data collection in the home, and the increase of inclusivity for people who are traditionally more difficult to assess.
So I'd guess, Jasnick, you're seeing some of that come through as well with the wearable sleep devices you're using as well, teamed up with the surveys. Sounds like a really rich data set.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we're also looking at other technology that we're using to try and see if we can look at alternatives to full sleep study monitoring for children with neurodisability, to avoid them having to come in and have a big lab study done. So yes, I'm very excited by the new technology that's out there, and hoping that it will help us to improve the information we can capture about sleep in these children.
Yeah, excellent. So Claudine, you've done some feasibility work as well. So I'm going to throw the how long is a piece of string question at you guys as well. So your GATE studies, what's your estimate on when we might see some of that information put into practice, for example, with physios or exercise physiologists?
Okay, so I think we're almost there with all of the feasibility work, and now we're moving towards actually looking at the clinical findings. And I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, but I really want to just take a moment just to say that we are finding some really notable differences in BMI matched children with Prader-Willi versus controls. And this is from an assessment that took a couple of minutes, and it's pointing us to some quite treatable parts of the GATE cycle. So yeah, I think the technology is ready to be used in a in a physiotherapy program. Getting it out into into home use, that's something that would take a little bit more time and involve co-design with families to work out how that's going to really be more feasible.
Yep. Yeah. Excellent, thank you. To round out this session, and so I think what I'd like to do before I throw a final question at you is I'd just like to remind everybody these studies are actively recruiting, or in the case of Alicia's, they're finalising their data. So they're actively engaged in research right now. If you're interested in contacting the researchers with further questions, or if you'd like to join their trials, all of their contact details are available on our website, which we've put into Q&A. So it's praderwilli.org.au/clinical-trials. So reach out, we can connect you, or you can connect direct to them. So to finish off, a last question for you, the one that we get asked all the time. Your trial sounds super exciting, but I don't live next to your trial site. So obviously Jasnick's gone national, which is great. But for Claudine and then Alicia, actually, sorry, I guess it's for Claudine. Sorry, we haven't got Daryl on either. Are you taking people from interstate? If people are prepared to travel to you at their cost, would you be prepared to enrol them?
Absolutely. So we're doing our testing is performed at the Royal Children's Hospital in the long hallways. But if for some reason you cannot come in, we can do a home assessment, because like I said, we're working with wearables, so we can move around. However, it's better if you could come in. The thing that works the best is if you already have an appointment at the Royal Children's Hospital, let me know and we can do the assessment. Our assessments are really quick. Everything that we've picked is quick. So we do the GATE in a couple of minutes, and then we do some brief cognitive testing.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much to all of you and to the presenters who couldn't be here in person today as well.